Oh joy, Sonic 06. With all the videos I could have started out with too. My god. Very well. What hasn't been said about this game? I don't think it's any secret how much confusion surrounds the game and its many characters. But this goes doubly so for its starring duo, Silver and Blaze. And boy oh boy, are these two a sore subject. There are fans who hate Blaze's portrayal in 06. There are fans who hate Silver completely, and blame him for dragging down Blaze along with Rush. It's quite obnoxious to say the least, despite understanding the reasonings behind said outcries. However, I don't think there are very many who have made an effort to try and rationalize the priority and the relationship between these two, and how Blaze's unapologetically shoehorned existence doesn't actually affect much of anything in regards to her story and Rush. In fact, I actually think 06 does an excellent job at enhancing her story and the beautiful tragedy of Silver and Blaze's separation.
Wait, you actually think 06 compliments Sonic Rush, but that's impossible, Mistress Nova. 06 was a mistake.
Yes, as are you, Patch. However, mistakes can always be corrected, and I will be absolute in my correction of you.
I'm sorry.
As you should be. Now then, it's showtime.
Did you just quote Solid Snake?
I made an old timeline theory based around the order of events between Rush and 06, in an attempt to rationalize the history between Silver and Blaze, as well as the significance of their relationship. Before I begin, I would like to say that I'll be explaining this in the form of painting a picture, if you will. I will start from the beginning and explain the perspectives of both Silver and Blaze from how I view things, in order to help communicate this theory more clearly. First things first. It's been stated by Ian Flynn in the past that Blaze definitively comes from the Soul Dimension first.
Alright, here's a question from Sonic. You recently said you were given an official answer explaining Blaze's presence in 06. Was it that she was originally from the future but became their princess after being transported there? Was she originally from the Soul Dimension but got transported to Silver's future? Or was it something else? Can you at least tell us what it's not?
Again, don't want to get too into the weeds. Maybe that'll be a Tails tube one day or something. But she, maybe, I did not confirm anything. I said maybe. But I can say that she is from the Soul Dimension originally.
Okie dokie.
Although this is evident enough through her Sonic Channel bio. This matters because it gives us a starting point to work with. There is only one Blaze, and she wasn't originally from Silver's future, ever. It's generally assumed that 06 happens before Rush, and this makes sense, as Sonic and Blaze do not recognize each other in 06. I want you to keep in mind, however, that the Blaze we are talking about right now is a Blaze that hasn't had a character arc of any kind yet, and is still the same person who views her flames as a curse that led to her cutting herself off from others. On Silver's end, he's been battling Iblis all on his own for a very long time, desperate for some kind of answer, some kind of key to victory. He hopes for some kind of miracle. Silver, the very embodiment of hope and optimism, is at his wit's end. This is where the Soul Emeralds come in. Being the sentient jewels that they are, they sense Silver's desperation and begin to flash before Blaze, their current guardian. They send her to Sonic's world, but remain on Blaze's world instead. With the recent Fast Friends Forever campaign stating how mysterious portals have been showing up in Silver's future, I thought to add that as a potential alternative to how Blaze may have ended up in Silver's time. But in retrospect, it's unnecessary. With the Soul Emeralds answering Silver's wish, Blaze has been sent into Sonic's world, 200 years into the future, with no way to return. Why Blaze? Because her soul was the key to sealing Iblis away, and maybe deep down, Blaze wanted an escape too. Would it not be weird for Silver to question this mysterious interloper with royal attire who appeared out of nowhere with the ability to control flames? I wouldn't be surprised if they fought each other. They're both quite rash, you know. Rash enough to jump to conclusions. Remember what I said about 06 happening before Rush? I believe this is the key element that most people tend to overlook in regards to Silver and Blaze's bond. They were friends before Blaze ever knew Sonic, Cream, or Marine. This is what defines the tragedy of their lost relationship, despite them getting along for reasons they don't even understand. They don't remember what was taken from them. They were partners who trusted each other in a world that was falling apart due to Iblis. We don't know the full extent of how close they were, but you have to remember that 06 Blaze was someone who was still carrying the mental stress of responsibility and pressure that we see weighing her down in Rush. She didn't have a Sonic or a Cream to help her. All she had was Silver. This may also explain her more quiet and focused nature in 06. She's been fighting alongside Silver for a while, with no promise of a return back to her own world or time. She doesn't have time to curse her flames or her duties in a post-apocalyptic world in need of saving. I feel strongly that it is important to iterate on the specific point that I'm making, as I find it to be the key that ties everything together here. Silver is Blaze's first friend. Really, think about it. Silver came first before anyone within the main cast, and shared a bond with her that nobody else did, first. The way I see it, this is what makes their separation post-06 all the more powerful, and why I believe their relationship is so heavily stressed upon by Sega. With Blaze being stuck in Silver's time, her eventual sacrifice becomes a testament to her resolve and her devotion to Silver, in this ruined future that was once foreign to her. In order to save the world, you need to be prepared to make sacrifices.
ブレイズ私が連れて行こう心配するな私もまた心に炎を宿すものゆえの使い手ださあ早く私ごとカオスコントロールで時を止めろそして異なる次元へ封印するんだそんなことできるわけないだろあの時言ったはずだぞ世界を救う覚悟があるのなら犠牲をいとうなダメだだってあんたは仲間じゃないか世界を救うために一緒に戦ってくれた仲間だろなあやはり青いなでもお前のそういう青さは嫌いじゃない
With the events of 06 being undone, Blaze is back to square one. She has forgotten about her experiences, as well as Silver. She has forgotten about everything, including the special bond she gained through the hardship she endured. This is where Sonic and Cream come in. They are the ones who take Silver's place, showing Blaze to trust and rely on others. They may not be her partner, but they are her friends. The key difference here, I believe, being that Blaze learns to rely on others rather than just another, if that makes sense. That, and the fact that there is always another way. The very ideology that Silver believes in. Rush Blaze, by comparison, was beyond stubborn, and closed off when it came to trying to carry the weight of the world on her shoulders. She was essentially ready to sacrifice herself, except in the end, she didn't have to, because she realized that she didn't need to fight her battle alone. From there, you know the rest of the story. At some point, Sonic regains his memories of 06. Blaze seems to remember the events of 06 as of Generations for some reason. I was actually hoping that Sonic X Shadow Generations would change this, but unfortunately, this did not happen, which leaves Blaze in an extremely questionable position. This leaves us in quite the awkward dilemma, to where Sonic Team wants to push for this tragedy that plays off of both Silver and Blaze not remembering 06, or their partnership, but this can't exactly work if Blaze remembers 06. Either this little blemish is one to be ignored, or her memories aren't as intact as her lines suggest. With that, my explanation is done. A piece of why I wanted to make this was to snuff out the obnoxious misconceptions I constantly see of Silver weighing down Blaze, when, at least I think, that couldn't be further from the truth. If anything, he adds a delicate layer to her character. I don't mind never seeing their history explored together either. Even partnerships can be personal, and can be narratively stronger for not being shown or displayed to the viewer. That's part of why Sonic and Amy work so well together as a pairing. They're a private matter. Thank you for watching, and remember, this is all purely my perspective and interpretation.
Mistress Nova, did you hear? They released a Sonic timeline, and apparently Rush really does come before 06. Mistress Nova, did you hear me? Apparently they released a...
If you've come this far, thank you for watching, truly. I'll see you next time. Maybe.